A federal judge is now halting President Trump's limited mail-in voting executive order just 1 week before North Carolina's absentee ballots for the midterm election are now sent out. So the order required states to create a list of voters eligible for mail-in voting, and then that list was to be shared with the Postal Service, and then workers were directed to reject ballots from people whose names were not on that list. So the president now has long targeted mail-in voting, which he falsely blames for his 2020 election loss. An appeal, of course, is expected with this. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes to talk about all this. Khalif, very important to lay this out, though. The timing of this, we'll talk about that in a moment, but the Supreme Court just weighed in earlier this week, but it did not decide whether Trump's policy itself was constitutional. So my question to you is this ultimately headed right back to the Supreme Court, and then how quickly could we get an answer?
100%. All roads lead back to the courthouse, and the courthouse in this case is the Supreme Court. When they kicked this one back to the lower court, overruling what the lower court had decided that President Trump couldn't do this mail-in ballot by executive order, make these types of changes. What they said in essence was that this is an issue that, yes, the federal government is supposed to stay out of, that Congress has authorized the state and Congress sometimes to dictate and direct how states run elections. And so the president trying to do that by executive order, yeah, they haven't addressed the constitutionality of it, but the likelihood of success of the states that brought this lawsuit is extremely high, that the president doesn't have authority. But what they did say there was a ripeness issue. The court said that you're bringing this case before us and it's not ripe. Just like bananas, just like avocados, court cases have to be ripe, but the court won't address it. That's what they did in this case. And they said until there is an injury in fact, you guys don't have a case. Well, the United States Postal Service issues a formal rule acknowledging that they will do the very thing that the president is asking them to do. Now we have an injury in fact because the post office is now proposing that they will injure these states by doing and implementing this. And so I believe now they have ripeness issue has been satisfied. They went and refiled these cases and got it in front of a federal judge. Now that ripeness issue being addressed, the judge is saying, okay, I'll allow this to be paused for 2 weeks. That time frame is to give them an opportunity to appeal. That's all that's allowing that to do. So I suspect that, yes, this one gets in front of the Supreme Court and rather quickly.
Okay, so my question for you is this. I mean, that's a lot to unpack.
It is.
I completely get the analogy with the banana and it being right. But the question for you is the timing of this. We got to talk about that, because could I possibly have a mail-in vote thinking that I'm voting and my vote not count? 100%.
And that's the argument that the state's attorney generals have made so far. They're saying you guys are trying to create something at the midnight hour to affect a change for an issue that's non-existent. Let's be clear. When you said falsely points to, voter fraud as an issue that's occurred in this 2020 election and is continuing to occur, there's no statistical data that supports that argument. And so when you talk about the likelihood of success, the government's going to have to point to a compelling interest, something that they're saying this is a reason that we want to do this, or at the very minimum, a legitimate issue or a legitimate interest. What is your rational basis for this thing that you're trying to do? And if you can't point to some statistics that say, hey, voter fraud is mass, mail-in ballot voter fraud is even worse. They don't have the numbers to support that. So that's why I say the likelihood of them succeeding in the long run is not going to happen. But this is, I think, the likelihood of confusion for voters is something that will happen. And that is what the state attorney generals have said a number of times.
That's exactly my point. I mean, and that's the confusion that we're trying to be able to clear up, because my question is, could they get this case before the Supreme Court before ballots go out?
Oh, ultimately, yes. I think this is a case that the Supreme Court will put on their emergency docket. They'll allow this to get, heard quickly. And there doesn't have to be any type of order that's behind it. They can say, listen, we agree or we disagree, and kick it back or uphold it. I think that's what's going to happen. Last thing I'll say is you mentioned time frame. Time frame is important because there is standing court cases precedent that says courts can't take action on cases when they are really, really close to elections, and we're getting to that time frame as well.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.